understand, but I fell down this hill. Now I got glue on my hands and I got records on my fingers. Records on my fingers, I got records on my fingers, and I just can't stop. Can't stop, I got a platypus controlling me.
What's up, bitches? Welcome to episode
Coming
4.
to you live from
Coming to you
Jpeg's
live
apartment.
from my apartment, episode 4. Now, you may be wondering, but guys, you just posted an episode like 24 hours ago. Well, funny story. Really
Is it
funny
funny?
story. I think there's comedic value in it. When you're me and you've had this happen so many times, it's just sort of funny at this point. So there was this couple, and they were young. Admittedly, they're young. They're only tweens. They're 14 and 16. They broke up for the third time this season, but this time they didn't just break up. They also quit and left the Discord, and they actually got back together. And I think they're together right now. They got back together in less than an hour. But at that point, I figured, some people aren't really mentally stable enough to play Survivor, right? I think there's a lot of stuff they need to sort out that Survivor won't help. So I figured, even though they are available to play, I don't think they should. And hey, maybe like they both make Final 9 and then they quit and then we're at Final 7, right? That would be even more shitty than Final 13 to Final 11, right? So I figured it's not really worth it anymore. I'm pretty annoyed at it. It's sort of Romeo and Juliet-esque. It's very Poof-esque, where Poof quit when he has personal issues that resolve themselves in like 20... Do you know that story, by the way, TCP? Of
Yeah,
Poof?
where I believe Juliet fakes kills herself.
No.
Romeo actually kills himself.
No, I'm referring to Poof.
Juliet was not dead.
No, I'm referring to Poof. Do you know that story of Poof?
Proof and Foop
No.
from Fairly Odd Parents.
No, the player Poof from 2DK11. Basically what happened...
no, I didn't watch the 2DK11.
Basically what happened was, he was the main character of the season. He had 2 idols, he had a rock advantage, and I think he was in a secret duo, he was in the middle of alliances, he was like the main character of the season, because he was like the underdog. And then out of nowhere, he quit because of some Minecraft drama. And everyone was like so sad, but they're like, it's okay, man. But it turned out that the issues resolved in less than a day. So he could have still been in the game, but he quit. For really no reason. And it's because he was I think he was 13 at the time, so he was really young, and young people are impulsive, and they act on impulse, right? But yeah, the same thing basically happened, and at this point...
Wow, are you ageist?
I'm a little ageist right now, I'm not gonna lie. But no, when you're 14, when you're 16, you're 14, you act a little silly, right? So...
Yeah.
When you break up 3 times during the span of a week, that's not healthy. So I figured enough's enough. But we're not here to talk about that. That's over now. Unfortunately, we're doing a little early merge. It's only been a week since the season started. It started on the 24th, and we're already at the merge. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. And really, a lot of these bonds haven't really had the chance to form as closely as I think they would have at normal merge, but we have to talk about the things that we have to talk about.
Exactly. And I'm a little, obviously I like it when seasons run their course. And I think you can agree with me, TCP, that Dennis and Abby were probably going to be the boots anyway, right?
They were in danger coming up the next 2 episodes.
Because there were two planned challenges, and let's be honest, the smart fellas aren't as good, are nowhere near as good as the fart smell is.
Nope.
And we know that Nick, Gunn, and Emma were working together to get rid of the couple. And honestly, it's probably likely that they would have gone anyway. Even though we have that in mind, it's just sort of I wish we got to see those bonds from Nick and Emma and Gunn working together. I wish we had those moments, but we were robbed of those, unfortunately.
Yeah. And they had a plan coming into the next episode, which I don't know if it's going to continue on into this episode, but the plan was to actually pull in Cass to try to work something out. And I don't know if they're still trying to work on Cass.
Yeah.
But that really gets into how Merge is probably going to work moving forward.
Yeah, I think that... I wish there was more build-up to the story, because obviously with stories you want build-up. You don't want it to just happen out of nowhere. But I think the story of this merge will be 2 alliances going against each other. Fart Smellas versus Smart Fellas.
Yeah. And that, do we want to start talking about the two alliances? Let's
Yeah,
start with the smart fellas.
exactly. So we'll talk about
So
the OG smart fellas. That's the Zoe alliance, right?
yeah, we have a main three. Actually, is there only three left from that tribe? Wait, no,
No,
there's
no.
four.
Neff and
Neff is
yeah, Neff's also there. Yeah,
Neff is the only one left. So there's four people in this merge from the smart fellas.
yeah.
It's Zoe, Nick, Gunwanna, and Neff, and they're actually all in an alliance together. They're in
Three-letter name.
the three-letter gang,
Yeah,
and that has some potential to sway Neff, perhaps. But Neff is also very tight with Saps, and Saps is working on the other side with the other alliance.
exactly.
So
And I think
it's very difficult
yeah,
to understand where things might go.
yeah. And to gauge, I really am interested, and I really was interested in how the Neff Zoe French or not friendship relationship would have developed with the swap. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that anymore. It's a big shame. Um, but I was really curious because they seem to be frenemies. Where one day they like each other, the next day, well, maybe Zoe likes Neff, but Neff doesn't like Zoe, right? And I was really curious as to see how
Yeah.
that would have developed going forward. Unfortunately, we kind of have to fast forward a bit, but that's okay. And I think that
So
I don't think either alliance is like super overpowered. I think both of them are in the same level.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like an
gonna say.
alliance of four versus an alliance of three with four people in the middle. Is what I'm kind of seeing.
Exactly. Um,
And I think that what's likely to happen is probably that one person from one alliance is going to go, and then one person from the other alliance is going to go. It's going to kind of flip flop at the very beginning
I
of this
hope
merge.
so. I hope so. I think if this merge is a big pagonging, that would be incredibly disappointing. Right, the season hasn't really delivered yet. You know, we kicked off two inactives and then we had two quits. Um, so that would be kind of disappointing if it's a pagonging as well. Right?
So kind of in my head canon, this is kind of what I believe. I think just inherently, the Zoe Nick Gunwanna alliance is a bit on the underdog side of this. They don't have the OG tribe connections. They've been a bit more like, or at least I feel like they've been a bit more going through votes and actually doing stuff than the other alliance, which just kind of formed and were like together the whole time because they have only gone to one tribal so far. And I think for the first tribal, that's not one of them is could be targeted. And I don't know who it is going to be. My inclination is actually that Zoe could get targeted, but she's had a head start with talking to the other alliance.
Yeah,
So
I feel that
it could
Zoe's
have.
in a pretty tough spot. I agree. Um,
I
but
think that people are going to be looking at the middle players
yeah,
and like Neff. I think could cut Zoe. Emma has kind of a bond to Nick, or more Gunwanna than Nick, but to Gunwanna. And then I don't know what Cass thinks about Nick, Gunwanna, or Zoe, but I don't expect her to really have a connection with Zoe, at least right now, unless she puts in work at this moment to get in with Cass. Um, so I think that actually Zoe's going to be in danger to be the first boot of this season, of this merge.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think Zoe is probably in the most dangerous spot. Right. Right. But I also think that she's such a social player that people will either want to keep her as a shield, or just because she could be a free agent. Whereas someone like Gunwanna is more loose, more reckless. Someone who they could cut out early. Who I don't think anyone is really trying to recruit Gun, but people are trying to recruit Zoe into their graces.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you think that Zoe could be? I think what's likely to happen is that probably early on in merge, two of this three trio might be gone early, but
Yeah.
one of them could have the like staying power to like because they're seen as less of a threat because their allies left. They're going to be like brought in and like used for more votes going down. And I was thinking that that would be Nick, but you're thinking that it's probably Zoe, right?
Yeah. I think it could be both of them. Honestly, I think it's just not Gun.
So you think that Gunwanna is in immediate danger here?
Yeah, I think. Oh, are we ranking them already? Are we putting the names on the
Yeah.
things? Okay, yeah. So Gun, I think Gun is, and he's been in this. He's been in danger for a very long time since the beginning of the game. Honestly, I think the two swaps really, or the two quits really helped him out a little bit. But I would put Gun in danger because I think like who would you rather want to play with? Would you rather play with Zoe, who's more active, who's more friendly, who's more of an entity, or Gun, who's just sort of exists?
I think Gun got game. I think Gun has got game.
I think Gun
He's
has
already
got
got
game
like
too.
this connection with Emma. I feel, and that I think is going to be important.
Yeah. No, I think Gun has game,
See.
but I think he's just more easy to flip on, right?
Yeah. I think right now though that three is definitely in more danger than the other
Yeah.
four on the other side of things. So I think that puts Zoe and Nick, even though they would probably be contenders in the long run, they're in light danger right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe and Nick in light danger. I agree to that. I think, the thing with both of them is that these two are more than capable of weaseling their way out, right? I think they're both very skilled players. But I think as of right now, the challenge hasn't even started yet, but as of right now, they're going to need to put work in. But yeah, I agree.
So-
I don't want either of these three to go. I want these three to at least make final like 10 or 9, but I don't know.
So next, we're going to probably talk about Neff and the middle people. Neff, Emma, and Cass, the people with connections to these three.
Yeah, I think those three are, and you can quote me on this. These three are probably material to make the end game. Honestly, I think all three of those people.
Yeah. I think that all of them can be in good positions for a very long time. I'm just wondering who's going to use their positions and like get away with using their spots to like make moves.
I think
And honestly, right now, what I'm feeling is that there's no way Neff goes in the next 2 episodes because she has immunity, she's strong in challenges, and she has the idol. There's no way. So
Yeah.
she's either in contenders, floating, or winning.
Neff.
I think that
You think what, sorry?
I think Cass is in slight danger simply because she hasn't been around too often.
Yeah.
So she might be like a consensus vote, but I don't know.
I have two
And
opinions
Emma-
on Cass. I'll say them when you're done.
This is the spicy take, which I don't know how spicy it is. I think right now Emma is a contender to win.
I agree. I actually agree with you.
I think she has connections to both sides, and I think she's already shown with like her starting the plot against the couple in the first tribal that she went to on the Smart Fellas, and the building like throwing out the idea of bringing together Nick, Gunn, and Cass to she was part of like creating that plan. And I think she might have the game sense right now to like make good moves and also not be targeted because of them.
I agree. I agree with you. I think Emma is, and this is going to be a really funny analogy because they're friends, but I think she's in the Jersey position right now.
I think she might be doing. She might do better than. She has the potential to do better than Jersey. I will say.
I agree.
That it is hard to do better than Jersey because she did win.
Yeah.
So it's like she doesn't have the potential to do that much better than someone who literally won their season.
I know,
but
yeah, I agree.
She could.
The thing I like about Emma is that she, most people would brush her aside because she's 15, and she's not super active. She's active, but she's not super active. So people would be like, "Oh, she's a goat. She's a non-threat." But the thing is, though, I think she has winner potential. I agree with you. I think it's just a matter of if she can break the stereotype.
I also think that Neff has. A lot of people talk about Neff, and a lot of people talk about Ecto, and this is something we've talked about since episode 1.
Yeah.
But I think right now Neff has contender capabilities. Even though everyone knows that she's a threat, like being able to take her out, like getting a group together to take her out successfully is going to be real hard.
Definitely, I agree with you for many reasons as well. Not just because she's good at the social game, but well, actually, no, that's not. She's not nearly as good at the social game in 2DK. Unfortunately, it seems that she's a bit more inactive than other orgs. But she has a necklace, she has the idol, and there are a lot of flash games coming up. A lot of the more grindy games, and I think she could very well win a lot of immunities. Um, but who knows? We'll see. Maybe it'll be her downfall. Who knows? I think Neff is 100% a contender, and I'd be very shocked if she went in the next like 2 rounds. I mean, she literally can't go in the next round. But yeah,
Yeah. Finally, Cass. Cass is a hard one. I don't know if Cass is in danger, like light danger,
yeah.
floating position.
Here's my
Right now, I don't think she really has like agency to like control moves to like take these shots that she might need to take. Because I think a lot of people are noticing that there's a lot of like contender like players, a lot of big players in the game. And there's going to be like a lot needed to be done if you want to win yourself as one of the contenders. And I don't know if Cass is going to be able to move from being a number to being a contender and a winner.
Here's my
Also potentially in danger because of that, right?
Here's my verdict right now. And unfortunately, Cass could have had 2 very good episodes where she flips on the couple. Right? I think Cass could have very well had 2 good episodes that were unfortunately robbed from her. She did have the flipping on Orca, which, you know, we talked about Abby and Dennis and Nick flipping on Orca, but we never really talked about Cass doing it, right? And I think that Cass definitely has potential, but unfortunately, does she have more potential than all these other players? There are a lot of other players in the game who are better than her. And I'm going to say this now. If she's not the merge boot, I'm scared that she's going to be the 0 vote finalist at FTC.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And that right now, I think I'll put her in light danger.
I'd put her in floating.
But she's like she's someone that could move to floating in future situations when she's like more established.
Yeah, I really hope Cass doesn't end up being 0 vote finalist because I really like her. I think she's unique, but we'll see. So that leaves us with the alliance of 5, which oh boy, that's. So you didn't watch you didn't watch Isle Delfino season 11, nor did you watch the video that I made of Isle Delfino. But basically there was this big alliance that was unstoppable, not because they were like, you know, amazing or anything, but because the other people just kept on quitting or going MIA or just not existing. And I'm nervous that this is what's gonna happen to this 5. They're good players, but they might benefit from people just not existing. And I don't want that to happen, because I really like all 5 of these people.
Yeah. Right now, of the 5, I think that Saps is the safest simply because of her connection to Neff. They have the the vote manipulating advantages. They might not even have to use that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think they would share the idol with each other.
Yeah.
Potentially, because they both know about it. And I think that Saps could be a winner right now if I'm choosing one.
I think it's a harder sell. I think Saps is a harder sell, and the reason is, to me, because Neff is way better at immunities and stuff, and way better at idols and all that stuff. And I think people will want to cut Saps for like collateral damage. For example, Neff wins immunity. They're like, oh crap, how do we weaken her? We'll kill her friend, right? And I think that puts her in pretty light danger, honestly.
I don't think she's in light danger for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, maybe not for the first 2 episodes. I think they want to keep her around, but definitely
right now.
Later.
So you don't think that she's going to be the winner?
I put her in contender. I don't think she's a winner. I think if she can like, and this is kind of counterintuitive, but if she can cut Neff, I think she's in a much better spot.
Yeah, but I don't think even cutting Neff is. I think that her best spot is to like make moves with Neff up till the end game or like close to the end game. Maybe lose her, like maybe she might not even have to vote her out. Maybe just losing her is fine enough to like light a fire under her to like just get to the end and win.
I agree. I think it's possible that's the case. So, well, what's right? So who do we want to do next?
Ooh, this is tough.
Let's do
because I don't know.
Yeah, let's do Tiny.
Okay.
So Tiny, if you ask me, I think Tiny has he's in a weird spot because he hasn't done anything all game. And actually, to be fair, neither of anyone on the fart smell is. No one in this alliance has done anything all game. Not because they're bad, but because they're either immune or they just killed an inactive, right? They killed Jack.
Yeah.
So it's a bit harder to gauge, but I think Tiny is he's the one that I think, assuming we get this battle royale where everyone just kills each other, Tiny is most likely to survive just because everyone else dies to everyone else.
Yeah. The problem is, Tiny, I feel, is at the bottom of his group, and I don't know if he knows it right now in terms of, like, this initial alliance. I think Tiny has to be the one kind of initiating some flip-flops in maybe, like, the next 2 or 3 votes, and, like, really taking control of, like, who's going.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's thinking with potentially doing that kind of gameplay. I think that Tiny could be in the floating to danger category. I just don't know which.
I think Tiny is in the best spot because he is number 5 of the alliance, but he's number 5 of the best alliance. So that's a good spot, right? You always want to be the lowest part of the best alliance.
I don't think his alliance would cut him just yet.
Yeah, and I think pre-merge he was in danger, but now that he's in merge, no one's going to think, let's kill Tiny. I don't think anyone has that on their mind. I think that Tiny, for right now, he's floating, but he's in a very good floating spot. He could very easily turn it around. He just needs to prove himself.
And finally, we have Ecto Guy Ryan.
And Ecto Guy and Ryan, I feel bad because they're all very different characters, but because they've been in the same spot, they haven't voted anyone out all game. And it's crazy to me that the bigger players, almost all the bigger players in this season haven't even done anything because they just haven't had to go to tribal council. These guys are.
This is kind of my impression. Ecto mentioned this approach where he is kind of like staying back a bit more, and I think that's good if he survives. I think that's good for him to like try to push Ryan or Guy or Saps or Neff or any of these, or even Zoe and stuff ahead of him in like the threatening order. But like I think he's already kind of pinned as someone who's threatening, and he might be someone who's, even if he's not doing anything, he's going to be seen as someone who maybe is doing something and is like threatening because of it.
Yeah.
I still think we're a bit of a broken record here. Yeah. I think Guy is a contender. I think that of Ecto and Ryan, I think that
I have a good
Ecto
analogy
might be in
for
light
Ecto.
danger.
I have a good analogy.
This is the hottest take. I think Ryan is in danger.
Ryan. I have a good analogy for this. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. So, are you a fan? You're a fan of Survivor, right? Have you seen Survivor Cagayan, season 28?
Yeah.
I think Ecto is in the position of the 9th place. I'm not going to spoil it, but the 9th placer of that season. If you remember who that is, I think that's where Ecto lies.
Wore a hat, balding a little bit.
Yeah, that guy.
Trip.
That's
yeah.
I think that he's in that spot where he's just perceived as the leader. There's an actual leader. I don't know who it is, but there actually is a leader, and he's just the dummy leader who will get flipped on honestly 9th place is where I see Ecto getting flipped on.
Yeah. I think he's in light danger even now though. He could be flipped out at final 10 too.
Yeah, I'd put light danger. Like I think in any universe he's the winner, but this is a very stacked final. This is a very stacked merge, so I don't know. And
And what do you think about my hot take about Ryan? that
About
he's actually the one in danger.
I think I don't know because my thing is Ryan just has so many good bonds, and maybe you don't see it because it's usually in calls, but I've seen him in calls with Saps and Neff and Tiny and Ecto, and I'm like, this guy he's good with everyone. Now, admittedly, that's the the his alliance, right? Not really the minority, so I don't know about the minority, but I think Ryan is in a really solid spot. Actually,
This is still going back to what I think about Saps mentioning Ryan making a mistake, and it, I didn't really get the full picture when she was mentioning in her confessional. But I think if the first shot's going to be taken at like flipping on the alliance, I think Ryan's going to be the one who takes the bullet. That's my headcanon, and I think it's going to happen within the first two boots of the season. I think it could easily be Gunwanna and then Ryan first two, or even some combination of like one from the other alliance and then Ryan or Ecto
oh
out right
god,
next.
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want Ryan to go. I really want Ryan to last a little longer, but I don't know. I can see that actually. I'd put him in light
I
danger.
think he's in light danger or contenders though.
I'd put him in
I put-
contenders for now.
I put him in danger, but like
Danger, really.
that's just me wanting my headcanon to be true.
I'll put it well, in the middle. I'll put him in light danger for now.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I feel that Ryan is. This is a pretty social cast. I think Ryan is one of the top tier people of the social people. So I don't know. And last but not least, we have Guy, and unfortunately, because we recorded this 24 hours after the last one, we're kind of gonna have to be a broken record here. But I think Guy is definitely winner potential still.
Yeah. I think it's either Guy or Saps right now.
Really?
Um,
Actually,
yeah.
interesting. I really don't think it's Saps.
I put Guy in contenders right now. I'm deciding between Guy or Saps, who I think is more likely to win. I think right now because Saps is a bit more set up because I think down the line they're going to be Saps and Neff are going to be in the middle of a lot of plays that are going to be happening.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to survive longer than people want them to survive simply because they have the idol and like the advantages between the two.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to get Saps to a position where she's going to win. Neff is going to get cut near the end, and I think that she's going to win.
Yeah, I think it's really. I don't know. I think it's really. I don't know. Yeah, I want Saps to win. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I feel like Guy edges her out a little bit, just because Saps is in a duo, and I can see her getting cut because of that. Whereas Guy, he's not really in any of that. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I think Guy could definitely squeak his way to the end if things went predictably. But the thing about advantages being in the game is that they make things unpredictable and they make things harder for players like Guy to win. That's what I think.
Exactly.
Because he's going to be I think he's going to be in a spot where he can choose a lot of votes. He can cut these big players, and as long as he cuts all of the big players right before the end, he's going to get to the end as the biggest player and win.
Yeah.
Advantages always mess that up.
That's true. Advantages always mess that up.
Specifically, Neff having the idol, I think is going
and the vote steal.
And the vote steal edges Saps over Guy.
Yeah.
And Saps has an advantage herself, right?
Yeah, she's a vote block.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's. I guess we'll just wait and see. I'm really excited for this merge. I'm hoping there are no more quits. I'm a little nervous about Emma because she's young and Cass because she seems to be a little busy right now. I just don't want any more quits. I think this season has suffered enough. I think we have a very good cast, and I just don't want to waste it with all these quits. I don't know. We'll see. In other news, we're not going to have an MVP because episode 5 just kind of ended pretty prematurely.
We can talk about Eliminator.
An Eliminator game. We're restarting it, so Eliminator game is now every round going forward. And to up the ante, as you said, you can't pick the same person once you pick them I don't know what to expect with the Eliminator game. I'm excited for it, but I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. For this first one, I'm picking Emma because I think that she's going to be safe. And I don't know how far she exactly. Maybe I should have picked someone else. Maybe I should pick like Cass.
I think Cass is a very risky pick because, as I said, she's either merge boot, the usual. Oh, they're inactive. Let's all just team up on them, or she's the zero vote fan list. So it's really 50-50.
I'm changing it now. I'm picking up Ecto before he gets targeted.
We'll see. But anyway, yeah, this merge is gonna be, even if Emma and Cass drop out, which I don't think they will. But at this point, I'm scared. I'm scared about anyone quitting after what happened. I'm a little traumatized. But yeah, this is gonna be a crazy merge. I hope. The season's been very nice and wholesome. A very nice break from 23. And yeah, I hope it delivers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. You got any final words?
We're gonna see blood, or we're going to see nothing.
Yeah,
one of the two is gonna happen.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
We'll probably be talking about it in like 3 days, maybe. Then
We'll be talking about yeah, we could. I don't know. We'll decide that some other time. But yeah. So as always, see you guys next time, and yeah.